Your connection is being shaped by forces that seem to reach beyond the ordinary, as though something spiritual is gently guiding the two of you back toward one another. It's as if the universe, fate, or whatever unseen energy surrounds your relationship is quietly urging both of you to reconsider what was lost and to reflect on the deep bond you once shared. This influence isn't loud or forceful. Instead, it appears as synchronicities, memories resurfacing at unexpected moments, or feelings you cannot easily brush aside. These subtle signs are working on both of you, encouraging healing, growth, and a potential reunion. Your person, despite their silence or hesitancy, feels this pull just as strongly. They genuinely want to return to you, but fear stands firmly in their way. They are afraid that any effort they make may be dismissed, ignored, or even rejected. The thought of opening up again, only to be pushed away, weighs heavily on their heart. This fear does not come from a lack of desire, rather, it comes from caring too deeply and being terrified of the possibility that you may no longer feel the same. In their quiet moments, they imagine reaching out, sending a message, or appearing in front of you, hoping for a sign that it would be welcomed, but the uncertainty keeps them still. Even so, their mind constantly drifts back to you. They think about how to capture your attention without seeming intrusive or desperate. They wonder what you would say if they approached you, and they question whether you still hold space for them in your life. They replay past conversations, shared laughter, and the moments that defined your bond, searching for clues that might reveal whether reconciliation is still possible. These thoughts aren't fleeting, they stay with them, day after day, reminding them of the connection they once cherished and the emptiness they feel without you. Your person is still heartbroken over the separation. The pain they feel is not something they can easily articulate to others, because so much of it is tied to regret, longing, and the realization of what they lost. They miss the comfort of your presence, the security of your understanding, and the warmth of the connection that once felt unbreakable. Their heart hasn't moved on, and no distraction seems to fill the space you occupied. It's not just loneliness, it's a longing for you specifically, the energy you brought into their life, the support you offered, and the authenticity you embodied. A large part of what they hope for now is reconciliation. They want to restore what was damaged and rebuild the foundation of the relationship with greater maturity, honesty, and appreciation. They understand that mistakes were made, some by circumstance, some by emotion, and some by their own actions. They want to ask for your forgiveness, not out of obligation, but because they truly recognize the ways in which they contributed to the distance that grew between you. They've had time to reflect, and that reflection has revealed truths they didn't see clearly before, truths about their behavior, their fears, and the places where they failed to communicate or show the depth of their feelings. Their love for you, even now, remains genuine. In their heart, it feels larger than any misunderstanding, conflict, or temporary indifference that may have surfaced in the past. They want you to know that their feelings were never shallow or fleeting. They were real, meaningful, and profoundly rooted in admiration and emotional connection. They wish they could express just how deeply they care, and how much they still believe in the possibility of a future with you, one built not on the wounds of the past but on what both of you have learned from them. When they think of being around you again, they imagine the sense of being uplifted, energized, and alive, feelings you consistently inspired in them. There is something about your presence that makes them feel understood in a way they rarely experience with others. You brought honesty, loyalty, and genuine affection into their life, and they haven't been able to find that combination anywhere else. The way you communicated, the way you listened, and the way you offered support created a space in which they felt seen for who they truly are. They often reflect on your faithfulness and sincerity, recognizing now more than ever how rare those qualities are. In a world filled with temporary connections and uncertain intentions, you remained steady, real, and emotionally invested. That authenticity left an imprint on them, one they cannot forget no matter how much time passes. They know that meeting someone with your level of loyalty, warmth, and emotional depth is not something that happens easily, or often. And because of that, they don't believe they could ever find someone who compares to you. Deep down, they hope that the spiritual energy surrounding your connection is a sign that your story isn't finished yet. They hope that healing is possible, that forgiveness can be exchanged, and that love can be rebuilt into something even stronger than before. They know the journey may require time, patience, vulnerability, and courage, but they also know that you are worth the effort, and they hope that, in your heart, they might still be worth it too. I miss staying up all night talking to you, losing track of time as our conversations flowed so naturally that it felt like the rest of the world disappeared. Those long, quiet hours were some of the most meaningful moments to me, because talking to you never felt like an obligation or a routine. It felt like a place of comfort, a space where I could simply exist and feel understood. I miss your voice, the softness of it, the warmth it carried, and especially the way you say my name, as if it has a special meaning only when spoken by you. There was always something different, something tender, in the way you spoke to me. Sometimes I catch myself replaying those moments in my mind, wishing I could hear you again, wishing I could step back into the safety and peace that your presence brought into my life. I miss your sweet love messages, the ones that made my mornings brighter and my nights calmer. Your morning wishes used to give me the strength to start my day with hope, and your goodnight messages felt like a gentle reminder that I was cared for, even from afar. Those little gestures, though simple, held so much meaning, and they gave me something beautiful to look forward to. They made me feel valued, cherished, and deeply connected to you in ways that words still struggle to fully express. Every memory you created for me has stayed in my heart. You've given me countless beautiful and lovely moments to hold on to, moments that still bring a smile to my face even when I'm struggling, even when the distance feels unbearable. I think about us every single day. It's impossible not to, because you became such a significant part of my thoughts and my life. Even when we're not together, even when things feel uncertain, the idea of us never leaves my mind. Being without you constantly reminds me of the happiness you brought into my life, the calm, the joy, the sense of belonging that seemed to appear effortlessly whenever we talked. I don't want you to ever think, even for a moment, that my feelings for you have changed. They haven't. If anything, the time apart has made me realize even more how deeply I care, how strongly I feel, and how much you truly mean to me. I know I've made mistakes, and I know I created trust issues between us. I'm not blind to the hurt or the confusion I caused. I carry that with me, and I take responsibility for it. But I want you to know, with complete honesty, that my love for you has remained strong and genuine through everything. My feelings weren't temporary, and they weren't built on momentary emotions. They were real, and they still are. I am still yours, not because of promises, not because of expectations, but because my heart hasn't let go, and because what we had wasn't something that fades easily. I believe that with all my heart. Right now, it's time, distance, and circumstances that stand between us, not a lack of love, not a lack of desire to be together. Life sometimes creates obstacles that feel unfair, situations that make everything harder than it should be. But I believe that these difficult moments don't define the end of our story. As we keep moving forward with faith, patience, and trust, I truly believe things will turn around for us. Distance may slow us, it may make us ache, but it cannot erase what we feel. The situation we're in today is just one chapter, not the whole book. Leaving you without giving a proper explanation was never my choice. It was never what I wanted. I need you to understand that. Walking away from you, even temporarily, was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. It may have seemed cold or sudden from the outside, but deep inside, it broke me too. I didn't disappear because I stopped loving you. I didn't pull away because my feelings faded. I did it because I didn't want you to lose sight of your dreams and the purpose you hold in life. I never wanted to become the reason you set aside your goals or changed your path. I never wanted you to forget who you are or what you're working toward just because of me. Sometimes love means stepping back, even when every part of you wants to stay. Sometimes caring for someone means giving them space to grow, to focus, to rediscover themselves. And as painful as it was, I needed to give you that room. You deserve to become everything you're meant to be, without feeling like you have to choose between your future and your feelings for me. Yet despite all of this, despite the distance, the misunderstandings, the silence, my heart has remained connected to you. I still believe in us. I still believe in what we had, and what we can still have. Nothing about my love for you has weakened. Nothing has disappeared. I carry you with me, in memories, in thoughts, in hopes for the future. And I want you to know that whenever the time is right, whenever life allows us to reconnect more fully, I am here, with the same heart, the same love, and the same belief that brought us together in the first place. Your partner is now being confronted with the full weight of the choices they made, and for the first time, they are truly feeling the consequences of breaking your heart. When they turned away from you, choosing something or someone else, they believed that whatever they were seeking would fill an emptiness inside them. They convinced themselves that a different person, a new distraction, or some external pursuit would soothe the restlessness they carried. At the time, it felt easier to chase something unfamiliar rather than appreciate the steady, genuine love you consistently offered. But now that the excitement they once clung to has faded, they are left standing in the shadow of their own decisions, realizing that what they abandoned cannot be replaced by anything or anyone else. The very people and things they ran toward have now drifted away, leaving them with a painful clarity. The novelty that once attracted them no longer provides comfort. The individuals they thought would understand them or bring them happiness have stepped back, moved on, or proven unable to offer the support they desperately need. In this loneliness, they have begun to imagine themselves in your position, to feel what you must have felt when they walked away. This shift is forcing them to reflect deeply on the hurt they caused and the compassion they failed to show. They are seeing the situation from your perspective now, and it is stirring a sadness in them that they cannot hide or escape. With each passing day, they are becoming more aware of how unfairly they treated you, and the embarrassment of those past actions presses heavily on their conscience. They think about the moments when you offered love, patience, and loyalty, and how they overlooked all of it while chasing temporary satisfaction. They remember how you stood by them, how you listened, comforted, and lifted them up when they felt low. They took that emotional support for granted, assuming it would always be there, assuming you would always hold space for them no matter what. Now that no one is there to console or cheer them up in this painful chapter, they finally see how much you carried for the both of you, and how deeply they depended on your presence even when they pretended they didn't. The emptiness they feel now is not just the absence of companionship, it is the absence of the bond you shared. It's the absence of someone who truly understood them, someone who offered comfort without judgment, love without conditions, and guidance without expecting anything in return. You were their strongest emotional support, even during moments when they refused to acknowledge it. And now, in your absence, they are learning how irreplaceable you truly are. They are also beginning to grasp the magnitude of losing not just you as a person, but the life they could have continued building alongside you. The sense of loss stretches into every corner of their mind. They think about the conversations you shared, the plans you made, and the moments of laughter they once dismissed as ordinary. They realize now that those moments were extraordinary, because they were shared with someone who genuinely loved them. The life they walked away from is starting to look far brighter than the one they have now, and the contrast is painful to bear. As they reflect on all of this, something deeper is happening within them: growth. The pain they are experiencing is teaching them lessons they once refused to learn. They are beginning to understand how their choices created a distance between the two of you, how their actions built walls instead of bridges. They find themselves thinking about how things might have been different if they had communicated better, valued you more, or resisted the temptation to take your loyalty for granted. They replay these thoughts over and over, recognizing the patterns that led to the heartbreak and wishing they had made different decisions. Their regret is not shallow, it runs through them in a way that forces them to confront aspects of themselves they ignored for far too long. For the first time, they are truly sitting with the discomfort of what they did, rather than distracting themselves or shifting blame. This process is painful, but it is also shaping them, teaching them not to repeat the same mistakes again, not with you, and not in any future relationship. They are realizing that love requires consistency, maturity, and presence, not fleeting excitement or impulsive decisions. Your partner is learning how deeply their actions affected you, and they are reflecting on how the pain they caused has circled back to them in a way they never expected. They are coming to terms with the reality that losing someone who genuinely cared for them is one of the hardest consequences to bear. And in this solitude, they are finally understanding the value of what they lost, not just a partner, but the emotional safety, encouragement, and unconditional support that came from being loved by you.